What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing part 1 of the Memories in Motion Ultra League Battle of Spice, featuring 10 of the spiciest teams the Ultra League has ever seen. Part 2 will also contain 10 more Ultra League battles, but I'll also be grouping it with the Master League Battle of Spice, since there were only a handful of submissions, which wasn't quite enough to make in a full video of its own. I am unfortunately busy tomorrow, so that video most likely won't come out until later in the week. Anyways, before we get into the question of the day, I want to give a quick shout out to BD Meso GR, as well as Shenanigan Stone for their donations and future live stream theme requests from my recent streams and videos. And I do want to mention to anyone else that has also requested a live stream theme that I haven't got around to doing just yet, a lot of the time they can only be done in specific metas, like the Open Great League for example, so I'll have to just wait for the right time to do them, but I promise I will get around to doing them all. Anyways, with that being said, let's finally get into the question of the day. What is your favorite Spice Pokemon to play in the Open Ultra League? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Let's go into the first battle, and we are starting with a bang. This is an incredibly spicy triple Shadow level 50 team, leaning with Shadow Zeb Striker on the buffed low kick this season. The opponent going to swap out instantly, seeing an electric type into the Gyarados, but actually that's not the most comfortable matchup for the Zeb Striker. But now we tank a Thunder Punch. We're now going to shield the next one onto our Shadow level 50 Bibarel as we now farm up to back-to-back serves. First serve is going to be shielded by the opponent, so I don't mind if we double shield and commit to a full rollout farm down. The opponent gonna swap back into Gyarados, but we're running Hyper Beam and we are full sending it right now. Hyper Beam gets the one shot. It takes out the Gyarados, but their final Pokemon is going to be Shadow Venusaur, and this game is not over yet. But if you thought the team was spicy, we've also got a level 50 shiny Shadow Stantler in the back. Now this Pokemon might be one of the worst Pokemon I've ever built for the Great League, but as a shiny Shadow level 50 investment, that is insane spice. We're able to tackle, farm down the Venusaur, and the opponent just concedes the match. And into the next battle, we're going to have a Stoutland into Ampharos. If we're on Sand Attack, then honestly not that bad of a matchup. Of course, we've got non-stab charge moves, Wild Charge, great charge move, but it will be resisted here, so we will have to settle for crunches, but the opponent just going to go for a brutal swing. So we're going to go for Crunch straight away here. Crunch is going to connect, and it does decent damage. It does not drop the defense. However, we should still be able to live the next charge move. The opponent this time around going for Trailblaze, boosting up their attack stat, meaning we have to throw the Crunch straight away, but Crunch going to be shielded, and a boosted Volt Switch does get the KO. Now we're going to come in with an Overquill. It looks like we're on Poison Jab as the fast move, as the opponent's going to swap into a Purified Dragonite. We're now full sending the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse got to be no shielded, and it does big damage. We're going to shield here as the opponent is going to full send a Superpower, dropping their defense, meaning we actually get slightly less farm there than we maybe would have liked to, but they reveal their final Pokemon, a shiny Sirfetch'd. We go for Aquatail. Aquatail not going to be shielded, and now we're going to swap out. We try to catch potentially just anything other than a Brave Bird, but the opponent holds onto the energy. They full send the Brave Bird before being fully farmed down, and let's see the comeback in with the Ampharos. Unfortunately, we miss out on a full fast move, but Brutal Swing not going to hit for super effective damage there. They will be forced to throw another charge move. We go for Ancient Power. Honestly, could have just committed to a full farm down, but the opponent gonna reach a charge move again, but unfortunately for them, they're not a back-to-back, meaning one more Poison Jab gets the farm down from the Overquill, and we take that game. Now heading into the next battle, this is supposed to be a Yu-Gi-Oh themed team, so let me know if you can guess or work out what these three Pokemon represent from Yu-Gi-Oh, but we go for Crunch here with the Zekrom. Crunch is super effective, and we're actually able to reach a second Crunch, looking to be on CMP as well, which is huge for us. Actually, never mind, that was not a CMP tie, but either way, we are going to no shield. The opponent goes for an Ancient Power. That is not enough damage to KO, and they are forced to throw again. At this point, we might actually shield here, because we can flip switch advantage and come out with a Wild Charge loaded. That way, if they come back in with the Gelatin, we're going to throw this straight away. Now, they have seen Crunch already. However, they no-shield the Wild Charge, and that very nearly gets the one-shot. We come in with the Zekrom here, of course. Gonna no-shield this. They full send the Shadow Ball, but their final Pokemon is going to be a Moltres. We're going straight for the Fusion Flare here. Fusion Flare is going to be no-shielded, and now we swap into our Delphox, where, of course, we are taking big damage from the super effective Sucker Punches, but we don't really have any other options here. We are going to commit to a Fire Spin farm down. No, never mind. Gonna fire off a Side Shock, realizing they're getting to the charge move right now anyways, so might as well grab that final shield just in case Reshiram needs to reach another charge move. But at this point, I don't think it really matters. We can Dragon Rare, farm down both remaining Pokemon, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we're going to see Shadow Aggron into a Purified Ampharos. So we're going to stay in this matchup, and we can go straight for a Rock Tomb, which is also throwing on good timing. Rock Tomb, going to be no-shield, it drops their attack stat. Now, they could be on Focus Blast, but we're going to no-shield anyways, and it is just a Brutal Swing bait before they swap out into Corviknight. But this is fine with us, we've got access to Thunder for coverage, and Thunder going to hit for super effective damage. We're now going to swap into a Dragon Tail Shiny Milotic. We're going to no-shield the first charge move as they full send a payback, but Milotic is pretty bulky, so we're able to tank that very comfortably, and even if they go for a second payback, we can still tank that and reach another Aqua Tail. But are we going to use a shield here finally? Nope, never mind, they go for an Air Cutter bait, that's fine with us, and now they swap back into the Ampharos. We're already at another Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is going to be shielded, and the opponent realizing they won't quite get a full farm down, so they're forced to throw some energy. They go for Brutal Swing. We're going to come back in with the Shadow Aggron, just force them to throw another Brutal Swing straight away, setting up a Fury Cutter farm down for the Sceptile. We get the full farm down. Of course, they do still have a Corviknight in the back, which is going to resist all of our moves. However, they swap out into Licky Licky, and we can just start unleashing these Leaf Blades. Leaf Blade, very efficient charge move, very cheap as well, just 35 energy, 70 damage, and you can see we will be able to 3-shot a bulky Licky Licky in the Ultra League. We're going to shield, we might as well here. The opponent going to go and full send a Shadow Ball. We can now look to overfarm, go for another Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade will be enough damage to get the KO here, and whilst it won't quite take out a Corviknight from this range, it probably sets up a double resisted non-stab Fury Cutter farm down. All we have to do, safely shield the charge move. They're not going to reach 2 moves here. The opponent goes for the Air Cutter, we get the farm down, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we've got a triple Shadow team leading with a Shadow Gengar into a Fortress. The opponent's going to swap out into a Feraligatr, so we're going to go straight for Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch, going to be shielded, and we're going to swap out. We try to catch a Hydro Cannon, doesn't work out. The opponent holds onto the energy, and now they full send an Ice Beam, which of course we needed to shield there as Shadow Hydreigon is very glassy. We're now going to go for a Brutal Swing, and Brutal Swing doesn't quite get the KO there, but is this enough for another Ice Beam? Nope, just a Hydro Cannon there, which we can no shield and we resist. They're now going to come back in with the Fortress. So at this point, we're going to go for a Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing is going to deal some decent damage here, and we're just going to swap out and catch the next charge move onto our Shadow Gengar. Rock Tomb, going to be enough damage to get the KO, and now we can align our Shadow Gliscor, which of course, resisting the Volt Switch damage. Rock Tomb is going to hit for neutral damage here, but honestly, it's really not going to hit that hard. The opponent is just going to choose to stay in with the Fortress, allowing us to reach an Acrobatics. And Acrobatics, even debuffed, easily gets the KO, and their final Pokemon is going to be a Swampert. So we are now debuffed, but we're going to go for another Acrobatics anyways, and Acrobatics is going to connect. We now go for the combo play there, looking to snipe with a Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing, gonna be shielded, as the opponent is now going to look to farm up to back-to-back charge moves. However, we've now just been credited with the energy for another Brutal Swing. Even if they throw straight away, we're able to win CMP very comfortably. Brutal Swing takes out the Swampert, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we've got a triple legendary water team here with Volcanion in the lead up against a Purified Empoleon. Seeing a lot of Purified Pokemon on the opposing ends here, but we're now going to go and full send an Earth Power. Earth Power, not going to be shielded. It's super effective. It gets the KO, but now they come in with an Ampharos, which is certainly not ideal. And of course, we could have gone for another Earth Power, but we do expect to grab a shield here, and Skull does have a higher chance of dropping their attack stat. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we do get that debuff, but we're going to come in with a Shadow Palkia. Gonna no-shield the first charge move, which is quite risky for us. Shadow Palkia, whilst yes, we are taking neutral damage here from the Volt Switches, we're forced to swap out as they would be able to farm us down, and now we're swapping into our Shadow Kyogre. They go for another Trailblaze. These Volt Switches dealing huge damage, but we do have a lifeline here. The opponent will not get off another fast move, meaning we get the full farm down, and their final Pokemon is going to be a Hex Gorgeist, it looks like. So we go for the Avalanche, dealing big damage, and we're able to reach another Avalanche here before they can reach a Seed Bomb. Avalanche gets the KO, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we've got a triple Ghost team here, leading with Sinistcha, I think this Pokemon is called. I actually don't know how to pronounce this Pokemon's name. Either way, it doesn't really matter. We are going to look to shield here, look to go for a full Astonish farm down. So the opponent swaps out into a Razor Leaf Venusaur. We're going to go straight for Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is going to connect. It does decent damage. We're now going to bank another Shadow Ball before swapping into our Marshadow. we are going to no shield here as they full send the Frenzy Plant, but they stop attacking for some reason. Don't really understand why. We blind throw a Thunder Punch and the opponent comes in with an extra drill, but we are a fighting type Pokemon and we end up grabbing the first shield. They are now going to be able to throw a charge move here. We're just looking to farm up to back-to-back charge moves, it looks like. So we go and shield our Scorching Sands. They swap back into Armarouge just to be fully farmed down here. And we've got back-to-back moves. So we go for the first Foul Play. Foul Play, gotta be shielded. And we actually go for the combo play there, just in case another Foul Play didn't quite KO. Shadow Ball gets the knockout. And we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we've got a triple shiny team here, leading with Quaquaval into a Gourgeist. Gourgeist, a little bit of an awkward Pokemon here, just because they do have decent damage into all three Pokemon, but we can go straight for Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon is unfortunately resisted, but we do have wing attacks to hit for super effective. Now the opponent is going to go for a Seed Bomb. We're able to catch it onto our shiny Absol, as the opponent now comes in with a Nidoqueen. Now, of course, we've got Brutal Swings. We've also got Psycho Cut, which is hitting for super effective damage, and it can allow us to reach 2 Brutal Swings before they fully farm us down, and we're able to grab a shield advantage. Now, they do have quite a lot of energy here, but it's quite likely that they go straight for Poison Fang. But in looking to throw on good timing, we're able to outpace, grab the final shield with a Hydro Cannon, and now we're probably going to no-shield that first move. The opponent goes for Poison Fang, which is fine with us. They drop out our fence, so we'll definitely have to shield the next one, but let's see what they want to do. The opponent now going for a combo play as they come in, tries to snipe with a Seed Bomb. We're going to look to shield this. We're going to bank another Hydro Cannon and then swap into our Pinsir, and the opponent, if they commit to the Shadow Ball, they're going to lose CMP to the shiny Pinsir, and X-Scissor gets the KO. They come in with their final Pokemon, which is going to be a Swampert, and we're able to reach another X-Scissor. Now, unfortunately, it looks like we lagged just a tiny bit there, or we had low power or something, I can't remember, but we unfortunately don't quite hit the Excellent. The opponent goes for Sludge for some reason, though. That does not get the KO. They now come back in with the Nidoqueen. We can throw out the X-Scissor, and X-Scissor is going to put them into range where, well, that was some strange animation there. Doesn't really matter. We've got the Hydro Cannon loaded, banked on the Quaquaval. It takes out the Swampert, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we've got a triple XXL team here, which means Enamorus looking absolutely massive up against the shiny Galarian Moltres. We are going to go straight for a Fly here. Fly is just going to hit for neutral damage, but the opponent is going to end up shielding. So this is a really good matchup for us, but we will still need to shield as Enamorus in this form is very glassy. We're going to shield a Fly coming from the Moltres as they now swap into Belly Bolt. We're still resisting the fast move pressure as they are on Sucker Punch once again, so we full send a Dazzling Gleam, and then we come in with a Buzzwole. Now Buzzwole actually going to be on Power Up Punch, meaning we can throw this on CMP tie with a Zap Cannon, and this is going to force the final shield. Now, are we going to bother shielding here? We're not going to shield. The opponent full sends the Zap Cannon. It doesn't KO, actually, but it does set up a farm down for the opponent, but we can just come back in with the Enamorus. Their final Pokemon is going to be a Drapion, and we look to throw on CMP, and the opponent tricked into throwing straight away. Dazzling Gleam, big damage, and it also forced the opponent to waste all of their energy. The opponent going to go for the Aqua Tail there. We can now come in with a Kyurem Black. I believe this is, I actually don't really know the difference between the Kyurem White and Kyurem Black. Either way, we are going to shield here as the opponent fires off the Fly. I guess this is the Black because we got Fusion Bolt, which I'm assuming means that we fused with the Zekrom. Anyways, we go for Fusion Bolt. Fusion Bolt gets the KO there, and I don't think we really need to, but we are full sending a Freeze Shock just because we can. We can actually go for a very nice Undercharge, and it gets the KO anyways up against the Drapion, and we're able to take that game. Now going into the final battle, we've got a shiny Deoxys Speed form, which is a Pokemon that, honestly, I can't remember seeing in battle, or at least ever facing up against one. I have featured one of these on the channel previously, but honestly, it's such a forgettable Pokemon. We're going to go for a Swift Bait here. Swift is going to be shielded by the opponent, and then we look to swap out and catch the next charge move. The opponent is going to hold onto their energy. The opponent going to go for another Leaf Blade there. These Fury Cutters are adding up over time, and Leaf Blade probably gets the KO, so we're going to have to use a shield here as they go for another Leaf Blade, and we're just going straight for Shadow Ball. We're not messing around. We're not over farming. We're going to look to grab the final shield there, and unfortunately, they can now look to over farm themselves and then go for another Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade certainly gets the KO from that range, but we can come in with our Origin form Dialga, and the opponent comes in with a Skeledirge. But we're on Draco Meteor. Unfortunately, not on Roar of Time, but Draco Meteor gets the one shot. We do have to swap out and clear the debuff, but the opponent also running a Palkia in the back. That is quite spicy to see. Psycho Boost does big damage there. And actually, Speed Form Deoxys isn't actually that attack weighted, so that doesn't do quite as much damage as maybe you would have expected. However, we can come in. This is just going to be an Aquatail that is resisted damage. We're able to tank it, and we could have absolutely thrown an Iron Head there, but just because we can, we are full sending a second Draco Meteor, getting the KO, and taking that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Now, if you want to take your support to the next level, you can become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments of every video. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has become a channel member already. Your support is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.